How's it going, guys? Trader Neil here, coming at you with another crypto video to start your weekend off right. Just wanted to talk about where I see BTC going over the next month. It is August now, and wanted to show you guys a couple of altcoins that are on my radar that I think after the pullback we had across markets the last couple days that you definitely want to start looking at. But before I get started, guys, I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. Would mean a lot. Alright, guys, so let's just jump right into Bitcoin first and foremost. So looking at BTC here, we did get a pullback here from our highs at 118 that we put in just on Wednesday. As you guys can see, locally, price action on Bitcoin was pretty bearish throughout, let's just say, this entire range if you look at it, guys. And so what I mean by that is throughout this range on BTC, while altcoins were doing their thing, while Ethereum was putting in, its run to near 4K, Bitcoin was in fact putting in lower highs here. And I can outline that with my tool. And seeing that, BTC had simply been putting in lower highs along this way can give us an indication that, okay, trend on the 4-hour is still bearish. The next thing that I'm thinking here on BTC, guys, is for bulls to pull through here, you definitely want to see Bitcoin bulls dig their feet in the sand here very shortly. What I mean by that is you definitely want to see Bitcoin get a reclaim of this zone here around 114,700 to 115,265. This squiggle is definitely something that would interest me for higher prices. Also for my IFVG traders out there, you do have a FEG here on this chart for Bitcoin that you definitely want to see flipped as well to be able to really turn this area of support and resistance back to support. You pretty much got rejected by the bottom side of it for now. So if you see Bitcoin come up and get a flip here of this region, that would be very bullish. And in that case, I would be aiming at least for your last lower high region, which is here around 118. I would be probably looking somewhere about 118 to 117.5 for my first TP level if we do go long. But right now, guys, Bitcoin is in a very precarious position. Lower time frames are still pretty bearish here on Bitcoin. Haven't had any follow through since we had that dump over the last couple days, especially yesterday. And we are getting dangerously close to retesting previous highs here of this range that we were in throughout May into July, into the beginning of July. As a Bitcoin bull, something that I really want to stress out there to you guys is you don't want to see price come down and perfectly retest a support like this. The likelihood that you get a perfect retest and then just continue up from there is very, very low. If price action on BTC comes down to retest this region at around 111,950, the more likely scenario is we see something like this. Probably a pity bounce, lower high, and then just continue down into this range. And in that case, that's when you can start playing this range for potential trades, guys. Taking a volume pool here. Let's see if this cooperates with us. No volume data. We can switch exchanges here. Taking this volume pool here, guys. You can see that combined with this golden pocket fib pool from our lows in June at 98K to our highs here, all-time high. You can see that your golden pocket fib is coming in right about $107,000 median. And so that's pretty much the first area where I would be looking. If Bitcoin does, like I said, get a perfect retest of this zone at 110, guys, I wouldn't be surprised to see this region hit over time. And then for bull's sake, that's when you'd want to see the reclaim or potential rejection. But honestly, guys, that's really the first place where I would be looking price to come down if we do end up seeing 111 get hit. I really don't think you get a perfect retest and then up. That's usually not how Bitcoin plays this game, okay? And so just keep that in mind. Right now, I think the biggest thing that I would be looking for as a bull on BTC is, like I said, a reclaim of this FVG area, a pump above this level right here at 115, 350 or so, and then a reclaim there. All right, guys, let's move on to Ethereum here. So looking at ETH, guys, I am getting pretty bullish on Ethereum at these levels. Ethereum is coming down. It's taking out the liquidity at this level from July, taking out the liquidity from the 18th of July in this 4-hour order block. I am starting to get pretty interested in Ethereum longs. I already took one yesterday with the boys in my Discord server, in my Nurse Neil's Patience server. Over there, guys, I only allow people that take my mentorship, my 5-week mentorship, to be in my Discord. So definitely follow me on my Twitter. I am at NeilAurora16. I'll put it right here in the top left. And this is where I announce all of my mentorship courses. I'll be doing another one at the end of August, and I will be announcing it on my Twitter. And I'll also talk about it on YouTube videos at that point. But definitely give me a follow there if you want to keep up and be able to join my Discord server there. But this is one of the longs that we took in my server yesterday, guys. Holding really well on Ethereum so far. And honestly, on ETH, guys, if you look left, you really want to see this region hold on Ethereum. We saw a daily bearish engulfing candle yesterday that really, honestly, at this point needs to be negated with a push back above, in my opinion, at least this level here at about 36.69. Want to see some reclaim start to happen. If we don't start to see a reclaim there, gonna have to start looking for lower prices on ETH. First level, honestly, that I am interested on Ethereum, guys, is about right here at about 34.12. If you look left, that is a big SR level from previous times, from previous iterations of ETH coming down to retest support. That's a big area. And honestly, whenever you're looking at Ethereum, guys, we had an extremely strong move to the upside here, right? And so if Ethereum starts losing some of these key levels, the problem is that we didn't really have very much support built up whenever Ethereum was pushing continuously day after day to the upside. And so whenever something like that happens, you have to be aware that price action can easily come down and start cutting right through these levels. And then until you start to see support being built up again and buyers step in, it's going to be a lot harder for Ethereum bulls to be able to claw themselves back. And so here on ETH right now, if this zone doesn't hold, I would be looking for the 4-hour 200 moving average here at about 32.16 next to be a potential SR area of interest. And you do technically have a harmonic here as well, guys, that I'd be looking at. You got a 382, 1.2. I'd be looking at about the 886 here at around 3K next. And then if you look at the chart closely, guys, as well, that does line up pretty well with your last area of support that was built up, right? And so I do think on ETH, it wouldn't surprise me a whole lot, guys, to see price action come down to these levels if this region doesn't hold. I mean, ETH is still range bound. It is confined to these levels. I can even take a volume pool here and show you that, you know, here on ETH, this has some work to do. At least got to reclaim this value area low. Otherwise, I do start to think that lower is going to come soon on ETH. Now, let me show you guys my thoughts on Solana here. And so Sol has come down to retest this area where I do have an 886 bullish bat harmonic. This is a previous region of pretty good support and resistance looking left. And so I will say here on Sol, I do think this region could easily hold. Overall, here on Sol, what I was telling my students and some of the boys in my Discord servers this week is that until Sol stays above 183 and reclaims that region, I don't think this is going to be able to go higher and retest all-time highs at any point. That is a huge region. It's also your higher time frame value area high here, guys. And so until Solana gets back above, now at this point, I would consider this 12-hour bearish order block huge to be paying attention to here, guys. Until it gets back above this region here, I would stay bearish on Solana in the interim. I will say, like, this is a pretty good area for Sol to get a bounce. In the past, you guys can see Sol got a bounce here at 160 all the way back up to 182. So it's not out of the question. And so Sol buyers need to step in. You got the 12-hour 200 moving average here too. So I would very much like to see Sol buyers step in, push price back up to this region, and see if it can hold up there. And Sol kind of looks better than ETH at this point, in my opinion, guys. Like, I like that it's retraced to a key level too. And if you're looking at Sol ETH at current prices, guys, I do think this could be in for a bounce coming up. So let's look at the daily chart here. You have a pretty wild drive of daily bullish divergence here on Sol ETH now. That does interest me. As you guys can see, why is it daily bullish divergence? You have lower lows on the Sol ETH chart and you have a higher low on the RSI. And Sol ETH is coming down to this big region of liquidity here. So could this get a bounce all the way back up to the next SR region here at about 5.5? Yes. And then in my opinion, in that case, Sol would be outperforming ETH. Whether ETH is dumping or just going sideways, Sol could be pumping. But as a result, that move up on Sol that I just mentioned to potentially 183 isn't out of the question, in my opinion. Okay, I want to show you guys one more chart before we jump into some of the altcoins that I'm interested in. And just warning you guys, this chart might not be the sexiest that makes you bullish on coins right now. And personally, right now I am not really liking how this chart is looking for Bitcoin bulls out there and altcoin bulls, but got to show you what I see on here and got to be honest with you guys. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you're looking at this chart, guys, this is the USDT dominance chart. And so here on USDT dominance, this is inverse to crypto coins. If this chart is going up, money is going into cash and is probably coming out of cryptos. And that is pretty much what you're seeing over the last couple days since really Tuesday when this bottom, guys. If USDT dominance stays above this region at 4.41, bad things happen with cryptos, guys. Closing dailies above here is not something I want to see. It is eerily similar to what you saw back here on USDT dominance last February. If this continues to stay above 4.41, guys, it is very, very possible your next move is expansion up. 25% up on USDT dominance happened in this tariff era earlier this year. Another 25% move would probably take Bitcoin back to at least 90K or so. And, altcoins would get slaughtered as a result. And so what do you want to see as a crypto bull here? You want to see price action close back below 4.41 and hopefully deviate this region for lower. Okay. So overall, am I bullish on this chart? Unfortunately, it still looks pretty good, but could this come down and start closing under here and then have me bullish on cryptos overall, even more than I already am? Yes. And so here's the thing, you got to see bull step in here on BTC. Like I mentioned, guys, you don't want to see those previous range lows hit at around 111. And so this coming down and closing below 4.41 is your friend if you are looking for higher prices across the board on coins. All right, guys, let's take a look at some altcoins. But first, a quick word from my sponsor. I just wanted to give a quick word from me and the team at Breakout Prop firm here. And so just to let you guys know, I personally use Breakout Prop as the prop firm of my choice whenever I am taking trades, whenever I am using a prop firm. For those that out there that don't know what a prop firm is, essentially, guys, is unlike your typical exchange, your Bybits, your Binances, where you can trade with your own money on there. Prop firms like Breakout allow you to be able to trade with their capital. And as a result, using their capital, you can therefore lower your risk whenever taking your own trades. You don't even have to touch your own capital. You can just use the prop firm's capital and trade directly on here. And the great part about Breakout is based off of their 1 to 2 step evaluation, you can get up to $100,000 account size, guys. That is literally $100,000 of this prop firm's money that you can play with and trade with. The only thing that you have to do here, guys, is pass an evaluation. And so evaluations are a way a prop firm can make sure that you guys are ready to trade with the prop firm's money and to be able to take trades on your own. And so the goal here is you can either have a 1 or 2 step evaluation. If you pass based off of these max drawdown rolls, daily losses, hit your goals here, then you are able to be a funded trader and trade up to $100,000 on Breakout, guys. So you don't even have to risk any of your own money. You just have to pay the evaluation fee, pass the evaluation, boom, then you're funded. And so I've had so many students in my Discord that have had great success with Breakout. And the best part about it is they offer same day payouts, guys, same day. And so if you guys want to sign up to Breakout, I'll put my affiliate link up here, and it will save you guys money if you buy one of these evaluations. So definitely don't forget to do that. And then just FYI, guys, Breakout is also going A-book here, guys, which is pretty fantastic. And so here's a tweet that I talked about the difference between A and B book models for prop firms. Just really quick, guys, the idea here is whenever you're using A book prop firms, the trades go to the real market instead of a B book model where the firm that you're trading takes their profits and pay you directly from its reserves. So what is the big deal about this? Well, guys, Breakout using an A-book model means that if you succeed as a trader, if you make money on the live market, then Breakout succeeds as well. And so the idea here is that their goals are aligned with ours as traders. And if you make money as a trader, they make money too. If you don't make money as a trader, they don't either. And so that's the great thing here. No more misaligned incentives like Breakout has said here. And that's just another reason why I recommend them, and why if you are going to get a crypto valuation on Breakout, this is the one that I'd be recommending. And again, guys, just use my affiliate link to save money here on your valuation. Definitely check it out. And I appreciate you guys listening. Trader Neil, back to the video. Let's talk about some altcoins here. Starting out first with others dominance here. Again, this is the top 10 cryptos that don't include things like Bitcoin, ETH, BNB, XRP, Solana, any of the big ones. This is a chart of everything else in the space. Right now, we've been talking about this for a while, ever since this 886 got hit, guys. Had a 16% move up, and now we're just retracing, right? Well, just like I talked about in USDT dominance and Bitcoin too, we're at a critical area, guys. So here on others dominance, you really want to see this golden pocket fib area and this previous SR area hold. All right. If not, this still could put in a potential higher low. But the idea here, guys, is that, we could get a potential, inverted head and shoulders pattern here and start to, see altcoins dig their heels in and hopefully get something like that over time. It's okay if we go a bit lower, like in my squiggly here, but ideally, guys, you want to see altcoins really hold this region. And so, even if we do get a bit of a range bound, let's say, environment to begin August, definitely want to see altcoins start to at least try to stop dumping and at least go sideways in range a bit. All right, guys, let's talk about some altcoins here that I'm interested in. So here is one that I am a big fan of that has put in a fantastic move from its bottom here in June to current price, but I do think this one keeps going up, and it is Kita Network here, guys. So Kita is an L1 native in the crypto space, and they are pretty much, killing it when in terms of the speed of their transactions. And overall, guys, fundamentals aside, I really, really like how this chart looks. And so Kita here is still holding above this big SR region between 7.7 and 8.44. And as long as it's holding above there, guys, I would not be surprised to see it come up to retest all-time highs at 1.56 soon. As long as it's also holding trend here, making higher highs and higher lows, that'll also have me quite bullish here on Kita. We do also see that there is a nice OB area here with a SR flip that I am looking at. Let's see if this does get a bounce here. This is where I'd like to see it hold for a potential higher low. So Kita is one I definitely have on my radar here. Another one that I have on my radar is Bonk, guys. So Bonk here, as you guys can see on a higher time frame, is holding this region that is a big SR area here, guys. So just like I talked about in others dominance, this is like a great example of a coin that, if it's gonna put in a higher low, you'd either want to see it in this zone or much lower, really. And so here on Bonk, what I'll tell you guys is this has a couple options, a couple things that I'm looking at. Either Bonk holds this big SR zone here, hopefully grinds its heels in, and you see something like that. That's scenario one. Scenario two is where I see Bonk potentially coming all the way down to tap this demand line and then maybe get something like that. And so just keep in mind that, even if things don't get a bounce necessarily like immediate, I will be looking for lower prices later in about 158 to be my next area of interest. So this is one that I definitely have on my radar here on Bonk. And if this does hold here, this is where I'd expect higher. All right, so BNB here, another major coin that has been holding well, that actually did put in a fresh all-time high here, guys. This one is another coin that I am expecting to come down a bit more, but we have a great looking SR area here around 700 and 689 that I'm looking at. As you guys can see, that is a nice golden pocket fib as well. So I do like the confluence in this zone if we do come down and get a bounce. Let me go ahead and take a volume pull here as well. Yeah, and you also have a value area low right under that region, about 670. So if you guys are looking to pick up BNB, maybe you missed this move up to all-time highs. Without FOMOing here at the top, this is where I'd be looking for a potential buy area. All right. And for those that are interested in a one pump fund, this coin has been absolutely wrecked, has done a lot worse than a lot of people expected. But here's the thing, guys. I really like the way Pump Fund is holding these lows here. It hasn't put in a new low since Tuesday, which, as you guys can see, this chart has been wrecked so hard. So that is huge. I do think this coin is going to get another move up pretty soon, the way that it's accumulating here. And so I am very interested. I'm holding spot here on Pump Fund. And, as long as it doesn't make fresh lows, I will stay bullish on this thing. And then one more coin that I want to show you guys here is something called Ton Coin. And so for those that are familiar with Ton and Ton Network, this is Telegram's coin here. And overall, guys, I am really liking what I'm seeing on this chart. So this region between 2.65 and 2.94 capped upside on Ton throughout 2022 into 2023, guys. And the way Ton came down, perfectly retested it, put in a double bottom at these levels too, has me very interested. And just recently, this has been closing back above the 200 moving average here as well, guys, which is very bullish. So seeing Ton close above the daily 200 moving average has me bullish on this asset. And so I would like to see this continue higher here. I do think it's very likely we see Ton hit 4.05 in the future. And honestly, in terms of invalidation here, getting on lower time frames, for example, say like the 4 hour here, as long as this is continuously making higher highs and higher lows, I will continue to stay bullish on this asset, and I am expecting higher prices here. And so unlike a lot of altcoins out there, I think this one has been a first mover in the crypto space as a whole. And really, like, the higher time frame chart here, guys, looks fantastic. This has been making higher highs ever since it put in June 22 lows here, and it's just been continuously grinding higher on a high time frame. And I do think it wouldn't surprise me over time to see this put in a higher low, make its way up to the top side of range, and even higher in the future. Let's look at one more coin, guys. I know I said that was the last one, but I do want to show you guys one more that is on my radar, and it is IP here. And so IP Story Protocol had put in a great move from these lows in June to current price. 159% is pretty damn good. What I will say here on Story is that, yes, I do think it's overheated, but the way this grind up has happened, I am looking for this thing to come up and take the liquidity in this zone that I've marked between like 6.5 all the way up here to 7.4. If you guys see a big wick into this region around 7.4, that would be something that I am looking to short potentially. And in that case, you know, I'd be looking to short pretty much all the way down to at least these targets here at 3.28. So that's where I'm looking at here on Story. And just wanted to show you guys before we finish up today that in terms of Bitcoin's overall monthly performance in August, this is a chart that I definitely want you guys to be paying attention to and looking at. And so if you guys look, every single year in August, since Bitcoin's inception in 2013, has usually been a red year. 4 of the last year, like literally so far, 2025 is starting out red. 24, 23, 22, all red. 2021 and 2020, yes, we're green. But as you go down this list, guys, most of them have been red. So yes, Bitcoin has been red, mostly in August, but I have a little hopium for you guys. So as you guys know, 2025 is the year after the halving, right? The last year after the halving, just like 2025 would have been 2021, right? In that year of 2021, Bitcoin's return was 13.8%. The year after the halving before that was 2017. If you just minus 4 years from now, minus 4 years from then, 2017's return was 65%. So what is that showing? It's essentially showing you guys that years after the halving have actually been green years and have been bullish. And so if you guys want a little hopium, that's what I got for you. That maybe this time is different for an August, maybe because it's a year after the halving. We do see some fireworks. I will say, guys, Bitcoin going down to begin the month is actually kind of bullish for me. Why is that bullish? Because I do think that if a monthly low is put in earlier in the month, as in we do get negative price action like we're seeing earlier in the month, then later in the month, we can start to see things pick up, and that would be bullish for price action. And so usually you want to see lows come in to begin the month, not to end the month, guys. So let's see where things go. I do think August still might be a sideways crabby month. But like I said, it's a year after the halving. And just like other post-halving years, it's very possible we see some positive price action. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, if you stayed till the end of the video, I would really appreciate it if in the comment section below you put code August. All right, guys, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you guys so much for coming. This is Trader Neil signing out, and I'll catch you guys for the next video. Peace.